Alien. Yes, the one with the rapist penis monsters. Ridley Scott's Alien has to be one of the greatest films ever made. I mean, it's damn near perfect. It's got a crazy, unique sci-fi aesthetic, it's macabre and undeniably creepy, and most important of all, it's simple. It's just a story about a monster killing a bunch of normal-ass space truckers. There's a few hints at a world beyond the framework of the story, but it's all just set dressing, nothing that really needs further exploration. Alien was a self-contained masterpiece, and it didn't need anything else. Nothing. That didn't stop them from milking that sucker dry. I mean, there's just so much garbage tacked onto this poor movie. The Alien series itself has too many films, let alone all the fucking Predator movies that got tacked onto it. And yes, I know AVP was a comic before it was a movie. But come on, who cares? Nobody even reads comics anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
So there's 4 Alien films, 1 prequel, 2 spin-offs with 3 other movies attached to those. Oh, and apparently Blade Runner's tied in somehow. That's great, Ridley. That's just great. Why don't we just throw Gladiator in there too, you goddamn animal? But we're gonna ignore all that crap and just stick to discussing games in the Alien series proper. So grab your cats and your flamethrowers, cause we're diving straight in to the Alien games. So the year is 1982, right? And you and your team are tasked with creating an Atari game based on the hit film Alien from a few years ago. You've really got to do a great job here. Not only to truly capture the horror and desperation of the source material, but also because E.T. just came out, and everyone fucking hates video games right now. So what did they come up with to save the industry? It's Pac-Man. So in Alien, you play as Ripley, and you gotta run away from all these ghosts. I mean, aliens. Yeah. Aliens. The objective of the game is to run around the ship and collect these dots. You can also pick up these special power-up dots, which make the aliens glow blue, and you can kill them, and who am I kidding, it's just fucking Pac-Man. You know Pac-Man. I know Pac-Man. Everyone knows Pac-Man. Why am I talking about this? So let's fast forward 8 years. Aliens has been out for a while now, and it was huge. Now, Alien may have been an impressive sci-fi film, but Aliens really upped the ante. More aliens, more action, more aliens, less relatable characters, less psychosexual allegory, less horror. Bigger aliens! Aliens is a much easier candidate for a video game than the first one. I mean, every single game out there with space marines fighting a bunch of extraterrestrial monsters takes some amount of influence from this movie. I mean, you have to. So if you really wanted to play an Aliens game, well, you probably already have, but specifically you'd want 2 things. Lots of guns and lots of aliens. Well, you're in luck, cause in 1990, Konami put out an arcade game that's exactly that. Game over, man! Game over! Get away from her, you bitch! Is that okay? Can I go now? Okay, maybe it's not actually that intense, but it's pretty cool! In this game, you play as Lieutenant Sexy Ripley. On this ad, at least. In the game, you just play as weird blonde Ripley, and Buzz Lightyear Hicks in 2-player. The game takes place during the last act of Aliens, where Ripley and friends try to escape the facility on LV-426. However, a few things are a little different. For instance, the developers must have realized that a xenomorph, a facehugger, and a queen isn't really enough enemy variety to keep the player's interest in a shoot-'em-up like this. So it also features snake aliens, flying aliens, spider aliens, orange tentacle aliens, floor aliens, size-changing aliens, bat aliens, slime aliens, bug aliens, lizard aliens, rolling aliens, electricity aliens, and whatever the fuck this thing is. Also, there's zombies, because I guess there weren't enough enemies in this game. The amount of alien variety here is staggering, and it keeps the gameplay interesting. If you don't adapt, this game will eat up your quarters like nobody's business. It's all very Contra, which is also interesting because Contra is also very Alien. Both are made by Konami though, so it isn't too surprising that the games are similar. The game also does a half-decent job of resembling the ending of the film. Ripley fights through hordes of aliens, culminating in a fight with the Queen. Ripley then gets into a power loader and the two tango until she drops the Queen out of the escape ship's airlock. It's a fun game with fast, exhilarating gameplay. I like it. Give it a shot if you ever get the chance. If you find a cabinet. Because I totally found the cabinet. Yeah. It's right over there. My arcade cabinet, it's right. You can't see it because... So Alien 3 was a fucking bore fest of a movie. It had neat ideas, sure, but it felt weird and tacked on. And why the fuck did they just kill everyone in the goddamn shuttle? Oh, let's just take this happy ending and pee all over it, fuck you! But hey, maybe the video game will be okay. In the game, you play as Ripley as she tries to rescue the prisoners on penal colony Fiorina 161, because I guess all the aliens took them captive? Yeah, and I know there was only one alien in the movie, but... well... So if there's one thing I've got to say after playing this game, it's that for the Super Nintendo, Alien 3 is beautiful. All the textures and sprites are so detailed, Ripley's movements are so fluid, the fire effects look great, it's all just great. Too bad the game's boring as hell. This game is kinda Metroid-y in that you have an overworld that you explore to do different things, but whereas Metroid is a colorful, fast-paced, and fun game, Alien 3 is a drab, dull, slow mess. I mean, look at all this ladder climbing. This isn't fun. This sucks. The game revolves around Ripley going up to terminals and taking missions such as rescuing prisoners or fixing leaky pipes, and then returning back to the terminals and taking even more fucking garbage asinine missions. The game will kick your ass too if you're not careful, but don't worry, as long as you're not too trigger happy, you'll find plenty of ammo to keep you going. Yep, plenty of guns and plenty of ammo, just like the movie. Which made a point about them being stuck in a prison which has no weapons. I mean, that was a huge part of the movie. If you can't even get that right, why make a game about this at all? I'm pretty sure the developers just wanted to make an Aliens game and not an Alien 3 game. How do I know this? Well, not only does the game do this when you die, it also ends with Ripley pushing the alien queen into a lava pit. And if you haven't seen Alien 3, well, there's no alien queen, besides the one being born inside Ripley's chest. Spoiler alert. And now we're finally at the end of the series with the best movie ever, Alien Resurrection. So this movie is dumb, like really dumb. If you enjoyed the serious disparity of the past Alien movies, well, I'm sorry. With a movie this bad, the game based on it has to be a nightmare too. Which is why it's surprising that it's actually not. In Alien Resurrection on PlayStation, you play as future clone Ripley and a bunch of the other characters from the film as you attempt to escape from an alien-infested ship and kill them all along the way. Being a first-person shooter really helps this game deliver an effectively creepy vibe. It's very atmospheric and actually pretty scary when aliens show up. You might be low on health or ammo, and you know these things will rip through you like butter, so it keeps you on the edge of your seat. A lot of this tension could probably be attributed to the sluggish controls and gameplay, but the same thing could be said about Resident Evil, and people love that game. I'm not saying this game is perfect, however. It may be too challenging, and because of how dated it is, it's just so fucking ugly. PS1 graphics are not the easiest thing to look at, and something like this with so much detail and such a small resolution can cause quite a bit of eye strain when you're looking around a lot. And oh my god, the wibble wobble when you crouch is unbearable. Stop it, please. People don't crouch like that. Regardless, this game is honestly pretty fun. Who would have thought? Really? Who would have thought? This isn't how it's supposed to work. Movie adaptations are supposed to all be shit. A movie would be released in theaters, right? And within the week, you'd get to see this awful pile of trash that is the video game adaptation. That's science. That's the circle of life, goddammit. But when you look at these 4 games, they were all released several years after the movies came out. Why? Who wants a goddamn Alien Resurrection game 3 years after the movie came out? It doesn't matter if the game's good or not. Why would anyone care enough to buy it at that point? It's like if 3 years from now they just decided to make an Avengers Age of Ultron game. Oh, I'm sure people would be lining around the block for that shit. These games are weird anomalies. Sure, popular movies had more longevity back then, whereas now we have a record-breaking movie every goddamn week. But still, it's a wonder that these got made, and an even bigger wonder that some of them are actually good. Some not so much, but... Now I know what you're all thinking. Yomarz, those games were neat and all, but where's the game based on my favorite movie ever? Prometheus. Now, I was disappointed too when I searched around and couldn't find a Prometheus game. I was sure it didn't exist. Except, it does.